Hi everybody, this is Cristina and it is Monday's New Hope. This is our third week in our current rotation. Last week we spoke about how we can differentiate between a slip-up and relapse. And this week we are going to take a look into how we can stop a relapse from happening. So what is it that we can do when we feel that a relapse is very close? Now, I've spoke about this already in my last video and I gave you a few tips. So this week I'm just going to retake a few of the things that I've told you already and try to synthesize them in a more concrete way, so you can have at least 2-3 things that you can do if you feel that you're about to relapse. Now, the very first thing, it's not actually something that you can practically do right now, but it's something that you should have done already, and that is asking for help and surrounding yourself with people and resources that are helping you to get out of this cycle. And that means going to a therapist, having some type of meal plan established by a nutritionist, having friends around you that maybe know about your problem and maybe they will feel when there's something is wrong with you and they will try to help you. Maybe if your parents know about it, again they will notice it. Trying to get involved in different activities that are weekly or monthly where you have to go. So having already established all these plans, even though you are about to relapse, you still have to do all these things. So you will still have to see your therapist. You will still have to do your activities if it's something that you've got involved in. Maybe you've already got used to going out with your friends a bit more than usual and they will ask you again to get out, and all these activities that are on a regular basis, having this already put in plan will help you in the moment that you are about to relapse, not letting you to go directly down, because they will pull you up. So yeah, this I think it's one of the most important things that you should have, but it's not something that you can work on right now when you are about to relapse and you are desperately searching for some help. This is something that you should think beforehand, plan them, have people around you that know about your problem, have your therapist, your nutritionist, your meal plan, have everything in place so that they are all on the go and not stopping. Another thing that I think could help you in not letting a relapse from happening is, as soon as you realize that you've just had a slip up, even if you haven't had one in a long period, or even if you've had a lot of slip-ups lately, try to reverse all the bad things that you've done. Like, if you've bought a new scale, throw it away. If you've bought a lot of binge foods that you know that might be triggering for you, throw them away. If you've put again a lot of photos, videos or whatever of very skin models on your walls, on your computer, delete them, throw them away, don't let them there. So in other ways, try to reverse everything that you've done bad during your sleep up and try to get away from all the triggers that might be surrounding you. Speaking about the triggers, in this period when you feel you're about to relapse, it is crucial to avoid all the possible triggers. I'm not the kind of person that will advise you to avoid triggers all in all, because I think triggers are something normal in life and that we need to teach to deal with them, because they will always be there. We don't need to avoid them all the time, but not in this period. If you're in a hard period in which you feel that you're about to give in to all your behaviors from your eating disorder, this is not the good period to try to fight the triggers or try to have them around you. For example, I used to try to avoid one that is my biggest trigger are sweets, and for me it was impossible to keep sweets in my pantry in my house, so I never bought them. Then in the period when I was feeling very strong and I was going very well in recovery, I tried to buy some sweets and try to keep them in house, just in order to learn to deal with that trigger. I never managed to stay with sweets in my house, because they always trigger me to binge. Maybe I managed to stay with them for 1 or 2 days, but in the third day I will definitely binge on them. So for now I'm not trying that anymore, but especially when I feel I'm about to relapse, I'm not going to try to avoid this trigger, so I'm not going to buy sweets in my house. Sweets. And not only this type of triggers, but pay a lot of attention at stressful periods, emotional situations. Try to avoid meeting with people that you know that might trigger you if they're very skinny people, or try to avoid stressful situation at work. If you know that you have a colleague that maybe you don't get along with he or she very well, try to avoid them, at least in this period. Try to avoid situations where you know that you're going to be stressed out or that might create you anxious. If you know that when you go back home and you meet your parents again might be an anxious situation, try to postpone it, at least for this period when you know that it's hard for you to manage that situation. And the very last thing that I want to speak to you about, but I think that is very important, is the way we cope with our negative emotions. Because I believe that most of the times when we are relapsing or when we are having slip-ups, it is due to different type of negative emotions that we're having, and not knowing how to deal with them, and being used for all this period of time of dealing with negative emotions only by our eating disorder behaviors. We don't know other ways to deal with them, so we tend to cope by our old behaviors. So once you see that you're about to give in to one of these behaviors, or you're about to give in to a slip up or even a relapse, try to take a step back and ask yourself, what is it that is happening with me right now? What is it that I am passing through? Am I angry? Did something happen in my life? Or maybe do I have a new situation that I have to deal with and I don't know how? Or am I anxious? Or am I very happy because something is about to happen to me? Or did I find out a piece of news that will make me deal with it in the future? It might be a variety of things. Once you've managed to discover what is the real situation that you're living in and that you have to deal with, try to find some different ways to cope with it. I know the girls have spoke a lot about coping mechanisms. I did as well, and I think that you know them very well. They're different for all of us, and we should all have them. But accepting beside the mechanism, the coping mechanism, I truly believe that there are a lot of negative emotions in our lives that are not actually meant to be coped with. They are just meant to be there, and we need to feel them and to live them. Not every type of emotion has some kind of coping solution. There are stressful periods that they will just be there. They are there in everybody's life, in normal people's life, and sometimes we just need to live with that. We need to get used to feeling our emotions and live with them. And that is, I think, one of the most things that I need to learn as well. So I'm gonna do that too. We'll do it together, right? I wish you're all doing well. I am sending you a big hug and kisses, and see you next time. Bye!